Hello guys. So here we have completed this lecture 1, we have completed lecture 2, and now we are going to start lecture 3, L3, software processes. Let's start. So this is the most important chapter for a software engineer. So in software processes I'm going to describe several process models, and these process models tell us how to do the requirement collection, how to do the analysis, when to do it, and what will be the sequence. So uh, the term is described under this process model. Okay, these terms are described under these process models, and you will see different kinds of different varieties of process models are available. Why? Because I told you that not every software needs the same process to develop. Each and every software is different. That's why we have to capture different. We have to avail different kind of processes, different kind of techniques to develop different kind of softwares. That's why we need different kind of process models for different kind of software development. Okay, so first of all, let's come to the point, like what is process model. Okay, so process models basically it describe what will be the sequence of our analysis, planning, designing, coding and testing. Okay, this is the main theme of process model. Now this is the first and very simple process model of software engineering textbook, that is the waterfall process model. It looks like water is falling from the up to down. That's why it is called waterfall process model. So as you can see, it starts from analysis, after the design, implementation, testing. Analysis means they are mentioning analysis, that doesn't mean it doesn't have requirement collection. Of course it has requirement collection. So here analysis including all these parts: requirement collection, planning and analysis are includes in analysis part. In designing part, you are going to design your database, you are going to design the DFD, ARD. Okay, on the implementation phase you are going to implement through the coding of your software, and the testing phase you're gonna test your software, and after that you're gonna release and may give the maintain to your customer. So this is how the hierarchy is described, or it is showing on the picture. Okay, so now the theme is this waterfall process model is a very basic and very fundamental and very first process model in the world, and this waterfall process model has very refinement. Many research has done under this process model. So this figure is one of them. So here, as you can see, from the analysis it is coming to the design, from the design it is coming to the implementation. After completing the implementation, then you have to go to the testing. So if you are having any problem in testing, then you can go to the implementation or design or analysis. Okay, so this is the way, this is what the process model is describing to us. What will be the sequence? After finishing the analysis, then you are allowed to go for designing. After finishing the designing, then you are allowed to go for implementation. After finishing the implementation, then you are allowed to go for the testing. So this is the sequence. And if uh, if you're facing any problem here, if you're facing any error in implementation phase, there is no way to go from implementation to design or analysis. There is no way. Or if you're facing, or if you found any error in design phase, then there is no way to go back to the analysis. So it's a drawback of waterfall process model. So if any error occurs in analysis part, then it will, with that error you have to go to the design part. With that error you have to go to the implementation part. With that same error you have to go to the testing part. On the after completing the testing, then you are allowed to go back and refine your test, refine your or debug your error. Okay, so this is the waterfall process model. This is how, if you are if for your project, if you are using a waterfall process model, then you have to work in such a way, in this way actually. Okay, so on the next slide you can see main characteristics. It is called software lifecycle or sequential model also. And main characteristics are process activities are clearly separated. As you can see, every phase is clearly separated here. Advantage, it is very simple and it reflects common engineering practice. Okay. Disadvantage, I have already described the disadvantages. Doesn't cope well with changes. Development teams might wait for each other. That means the after finishing the analysis, then designer is allowed to design. So the time period it needs to do the analysis, on that time period designer will wait for the analyzer, and designer will sit idle at that period. Okay, so same for implementer, same for tester. So one of them are waiting for each other. Applicability means it focusing on when you have to use this process model. Okay, when requirements are well known and few changes are likely to be needed. So whenever you know requirement very well, at the time you can use this process model, or can be used also for parts of a larger software system. If your software is very big, then it can be used, this process model can be used as a part of that large software system. Okay, so it's these three terms: advantage, disadvantage, and applicability. Understanding of these three terms for a process model is very important. So you will see, if you go through the next slides, you will see different kind of process models are available. So you have to know the advantage, disadvantage, and applicability of each and every process model. That will help you to choose a appropriate process model for your project. Okay, so you have to know the advantage of that process model, you have to know the disadvantage of this of that process model, you have to know the applicability, that means when you have to use these process models. Okay, now next move to the next process model, that is the evolutionary development model. It's quite easy. Like, outline description means you are collecting the requirement. After collecting all the requirement, then you are coming inside of this box. See, and whenever you are inside of this box, at first you have to do the specification. That means specification means your requirement refinement and analysis. After that you will go for development. After that you have to go for validation. If you are not satisfied with the validation, then you have to, again you can go back to the development, then specification, again you can come back to the validation, and this loop will until unless you are satisfied with your product. After you are satisfied, for the first time you can release your initial version. Okay, and this initial version has two-sided arrow. Why? Because after releasing the initial version, based on the feedback of the initial version, you will do again specification, again development, again validation, and after that you will release a series of intermediate versions, and based on the feedback of the intermediate function, at last you will release the final version. So this is the evolutionary development model. So read the characteristics, advantage, disadvantage, applicability by your own. Then component based software engineering or reuse oriented software engineering. So basically reuse means something you have that you're gonna use on your next project. That's all. So suppose a login screen, you have login function, you have you have coded a login function, then you can use your login function on your next project. You don't have to rewrite the codes whenever writing the login function. Okay, so whenever you are using this kind of reuse components, at the time you can use this software process model. It starts with the requirement specification. Then main part is component analysis. That means the components you have, whether they are fully the word is exact word is like fully adjustable with the current requirements or not. Then based on that you have to modify your requirement. After that, system design with reused components, you will design your system. Then development and integration, at last system validation. That means you're gonna check whether each and every on the system validation phase, you're gonna check whether each and every feature, function and performance will getting or not. Okay, so this is the reuse oriented software engineering process model. And read these literatures by your own, and the best thing will be read the book for this one. Okay, now this is incremental process model. It's quite similar to the evolutionary process model. At first, by doing the analysis, design, coding, testing, we are going to release our first version. Then based on the feedback of the first version, then we are gonna release the second version, then the third version, then the fourth, by this way up to n version. So this is the incremental process model. Okay, so so these process models are used when different kind of versions are needed. Okay, so choose your process model which is appropriate more to your project. Then prototyping. So in the prototyping, what is prototype? You have to know at first. Prototype means a demo software of a big software. That is the prototyping. Okay. So we are running out of time. That's why I have to stop now. Now on the next part, I'm going to start from the prototyping. Thank you.